Hello and welcome to the GTA 5 Mystery Podcast with iGame613. Now, this is a brand new podcast. I am hoping to have this on YouTube and SoundCloud, and maybe even in the future on iTunes podcast feature. Now, this is going to be all about the GTA 5 mystery, about Matt Chiliad, about these weird websites you get in the game, and all these other little Easter eggs and tiny little things that crack into your mind. And it's going to be discussing ones that we've already solved. It's going to be discussing ones that we haven't solved. And of course, the majestic mountain itself. So, that is basically what this podcast is going to be. I am actually iGame613 myself, as many of you may know. Hopefully, you will share this with your friends and let them know about the YouTube channel if you listen to this on SoundCloud or somewhere else. And basically that is what this is. So hope you enjoy this and let's get on with it. So basically first I want to talk about the thing that Phyllis Force posted the other week. And that was that time freezes when you go in Solomon Richards' office. Now I did try to make a video on that and it was really quickly rushed and I couldn't really think of what I was trying to say properly when I was making it, so I did say, I believe I said it in the video at least, that I'll actually make another video, and to be honest, I'm not going to bother doing that, because it looks a bit silly if you post the same video twice, so I'll cover that here. Now, what I was trying to say was that the time freezes as soon as you go in there, so if you go in there at 3 o'clock, it'll freeze at 3 o'clock. If you go there at 5 o'clock in the morning, it'll freeze at 5 o'clock in the morning. If you go in there at 2:32, it freezes at 2:32. So the time freezes. Now, what Fearless recognised when he did go in there is sometimes and sometimes not, you will hear explosions, and sometimes you can even see them. Now, I've experienced these quite a lot since I actually got the game, and I've been looking into them myself, and I believe I found the answer. Now, I believe what the thing was that planes were falling out of the sky and crashing. And the reason I know this is because back on, I believe it was PS3 that I saw this. Because I believe I would have got video if it not. And I don't think I had the capture card. In fact, I think I did have the capture card going. So it might be on the channel somewhere still, actually. But I'll have to try and dig that out. If I've got it, then I'll put it on the actual screen right now. And basically, I found a huge airplane that had crashed and landed right on top of the actual film studio. Now, these planes don't obviously just land in this one space. They crash and, well, saying it land, but it's more like a crash. So they kind of like crash all over the city, pretty much, and all in the area that you're actually in with the Solomon Richards place. Now, why did they do this? Now, the only thing I can think of is this. When you go into the Solomon Richards thing, the time freezes, yeah? And if you look out the window, there are no cars driving past. Now, when you go outside the building, there's tons of cars driving past, and in the car lot, there's quite a few cars in the car lot. Now, as soon as you go in that building, it deletes all the vehicles in the area. So if you've got a plane right above you, it'll delete that plane out of the sky. Now, it seems to me that as soon as you go in that building, it freezes the time, and it only deletes cars and vehicles in that certain area. So around the area of the actual Solomon Richards studio, it'll delete all the vehicles, and I think just a tiny bit around that. So I don't actually know what it is. Maybe it's just like the whole coordinate block. So if you look on the minimap, not the minimap actually, the actual map you get with the game, and if you look on that map, you'll see like squares. So I think maybe 4 of them squares matched together around the studio area. Maybe they get deleted of traffic. So no traffic actually gets in this area. And I don't know why they're blocking traffic. Maybe it's due to the time freeze and whatnot. I don't know. Maybe it actually stops outside that block as well. I don't actually know 100% about that for definite, but I don't really care, to be honest. Now, something I did notice myself was if you do use the wanted level cheat, because you can't use a gun in the office. So if you use the wanted level cheat to get 2 or 3 stars, or even 1, it works as well. The police will turn up outside the building. They'll sit outside the window for a minute or two, look a bit confused, then drive off because the stars go. And that makes my theory work even more. Now, what it seems to be is because the vehicles are deleted in a certain area, they're still able to spawn outside of the area. Now, there have been times where I've seen one car just drive past the studio, and it's a bit random. It's like, okay, that's a bit weird. But then that's probably spawned way outside the actual studio area. So what's happening is these planes are spawning in midair. They're flying as normal outside the area. And as soon as they hit the area of the Solomon Richards studio, they just fall out the sky and then crash into the ground. And that's why you're hearing these explosions. Because what you'll notice is it's about 20 seconds after entering the studio building in the Solomon Richards office, you'll actually hear the first bang. And then you'll usually hear a bang pretty much immediately after, because you usually get like two planes going towards each other, obviously at different altitudes so they don't crash or anything. But yeah, so it's usually like that, and that's kind of the way it works. And then maybe another 2 minutes later you hear another bang and all this kind of stuff, so you hear all the explosions going on. And basically that's all I think it is. So I don't really know what more to say about this. It's pretty much solved. Yes, I could be wrong, but I'm very strongly doubting it. And I'm not trying to be cocky with that, but it's just basically just how the game works. Because I've got a pretty good understanding of how the game actually works. I can understand things that you can do with it and what things that you can't do. So it's like if you spawn in a spade, you can't just dig the ground up and make a big hole. Even though you do in a certain mission, I believe, you do that. But you can't actually just do that in things. And it's the same with stuff like this hatchet that you have. If you look at the hatchet, it's nice and clean. If you hit someone with it, it gets a little bit of blood on it. And if you hit someone with it again, you get tons of blood all over it. Now, them blood splatters that you see on the actual hatchet, they will actually be the same no matter what. So you'll get the exact same amount on this exact same bits every time that you do the hits. Now the reason for that is because it's textured. So with one hit you get a tiny bit of blood, 2 hits you get a lot of blood, and it's on the exact same certain places because that's how the texture's drawn. So that's just basically how the game works. Now another thing that can help people learn how the game works is looking into the game files. And luckily for me, I've obviously got a PC. I've got the GTA 5 on PC, so I can look into stuff. I'm, to be honest though, a little bit lazy, so anything I do think of, I usually tell to a fellow YouTuber such as Robin Rams or maybe Mittens in the future, Wizzle, anyone else, I don't know, Kim F of course. But yeah, if anyone wants to do some stuff, then fair enough. I'm going to try to do some in the future because I think it would be very beneficial for the channel and help the channel grow a bit more. But for now, I will relax. I'm actually looking into it still though, so hold tight. Yeah, there's another video that I think has just posted itself up now. I actually forgot I uploaded it because I uploaded it as private, so I could put the title in and stuff later on. But basically I nabbed up on that and ended up uploading it now, so it's about a week late, but I mentioned yesterday I did this video. But I've actually done a video since that one, so it's kind of weird. But basically that was about a sign. Now this sign says US Route 1, and it's the big freeway that goes up the west coast of San Andreas, or Southern San Andreas, as it is in the game. And you go up there towards Mount Chiliad. Now that motorway or freeway, whatever you wish to call it, is called US Route 1. And then you also get US Route 1 because it loops around and goes past the horse race track. It's in that area too. So it kind of loops around in there and it just reforms itself there. And you've got all these other freeways and stuff in between. But as for now, that is that. Now, what is so interesting about US Route 1? I've mentioned this before in an XXII video or a 22 video, however you prefer to call him. And basically, it's so interesting because US Route 1 in real life, in actual real world, if you Google it right now, you'll find out that it is actually a road, freeway, that leads into Florida. And I believe it is actually in Florida as well. But yeah, so it's Florida. Now, what's in Florida in GTA's universe? Vice City. So I really do believe that could link very deeply into that, and actually potentially be one of the first big Easter eggs that is kind of hidden, but you only have to do a little bit of research to work it out, to be an actual possible Vice City linking. Now, if you do actually watch that video, you'll get a bit more depth out of that. I can actually tell you now, I suppose. Basically, I think that if the next game is Vice City, we'll have Los Santos still as well. But because obviously that's on the Vice Cities in real life would be on the other side of the United States, I think that Rockstar may just redesign the United States. So Liberty City and Vice City and San Andreas can all be close to each other, so they'd have to keep messing about and like make a big world out of it. Sorry, I just dropped my mouse, so we need to pick it up. And once they've got the big world, then they can go between all 3 or 4 or 5 different cities in the actual universe. That's kind of cool. So obviously, like I just said, the West Coast would be normally Los Santos, and the East Coast would be Liberty City and Florida, which is obviously Vice City. So I think that maybe Vice City will be on the actual West Coast side of Los Santos. And the reason for that is that the Route 1 could actually lead off into the sea, and then cross the sea and go to, or maybe go across like a bridge or something a bit more legit, and then it goes across into a Florida-based area, and then you end up in Vice City. And if they do actually make Vice City, by the way, I have a huge theory of what the map would be. It would be freaking epic, and it would be amazing. I think I did go into this actually on the XXII video, and basically I think that they will do the whole of like basic Miami, which is Vice City as it was. They will go into the areas just north of Miami. Now I forgot what these areas are called, and my phone's dead, so I can't actually quickly research it, but whatever. So they'll do all that kind of area, all the surrounding areas of actually Miami. And of course, who could forget the Miami-Dade area? The Everglades. That would be so amazing. A whole big like moorland of nothingness, with gators and swamps and weird shit going on. It would be quite pretty cool. You could have some really cool Easter eggs in there. Imagine that you have to swim underneath like a swamp or something to find like the alien egg or something. I don't know. It's going a bit weird that, but whatever. That's just how it rolls. But that'd be pretty cool, I think. And it could be something that we get to see in the future. It'd be pretty cool. I don't know. Maybe they could make a new city. People are rumoring Chicago, and others still going for Japan, but Japan will never happen. I can guarantee you that. Pretty much, because Yakuza does that, and Sleeping Dogs did that pretty much. I think it's Hong Kong actually, but yeah, same thing. Sorry guys, but I don't know. Where do you think it'll be? Leave in the comments below. Where do you think GTA 6 will be based? Because I really do think Vice City. It's got to be. That would be such an amazing place to make a storyline. And if you actually go to 22's channel, XXII, then if you look at his mod that he's trying to make right now, he's got a really good storyline going along. He's got a pretty good map size going on. I've not actually seen the map itself, but I've seen like little bits of it, like, you know, these pictures he was leaking and stuff. They were all from his mod, and they're basically pretty awesome things to look at, because he's got like the Golden Gate Bridge, he's got Mount Gilead, he's got like a deserty area. I can't remember what it's called, Sandstone Valley or something. He's got Las Venturas, San Fierro, and obviously Vice City. And what seemed to be pretty cool about the Vice City picture actually was he had the Fitzer building, which in real life is the Porsche building. And he also had people pulling suitcases and stuff, so that was kind of cool. Now, obviously, there are plenty of games where you see people pulling suitcases, and maybe he just stole like the graphics from that, or maybe he actually stole the the controls of that from that to help him make his mod a bit more easier, which is fair enough. I don't blame him if he does, because it makes it a lot easier. He's the guy on his own by the sounds of it. And basically, I think his mod looks awesome. I'd love to play that. So XXAI22, if you've got your beta ready, give us a shout. I recommend that you give it to people who have supported you and people who you think deserve it. Like, if you go giving it to these people like Jan and Nort, who didn't support you really at all, yes, they did get you noticed, but they didn't support you at all, then them people will just exploit it and do it for their own benefit. However, there are people out here like myself who are super actually interested in your mod, and it seems to be awesome. So that's a little message to 22 there. Or 22 Productions is your name. I don't know. I don't really know anymore. But okay. That's a bit of a weird little place to go. So, also another little thing I do want to mention is, if you do have any topics you want to talk about in this podcast, then feel free to let me know on Twitter at iGame613, or on YouTube comments, I suppose. You could send me a comment and I'll get to you there. Or if you have me on PSN at iGamer613, that's iGamer, so it's got an R after the iGame, then obviously you can send me a message on there, let me know. I also will be looking for like co-hosts, like guests or whatever. So hopefully I'll get some cool mystery hunters in here, whether they are big ones such as your Ron Ramsey, your music video Trippy, Fearless, or Wizzle, or Wispy Woods, of course. If it's any of them, then maybe. Or even if it's just the little guys that no one really follows too much at the moment, like your Mittens, your Kim F, Dibs. I suppose he's getting a little bit bigger though, but yeah. And all that kind of stuff even, sorry. So, I don't know. Let's see how it goes. So, obviously, let me know your tips, your hints, your thoughts, of course, and leave them with the comments below, or wherever. Now, I don't know if there's any comment section thing on SoundCloud. I believe you can put like a comment at certain points in the video, or the audio shows down there, and then I can see them from that. But either way, just feel free to reach out to me whichever way you wish. I aim to actually make these podcasts a little bit longer than this, but currently this is just the first one, testing it out, see how you guys take it. So I will actually end this off right now. Hopefully you enjoyed this podcast, episode 1, and we will be back with episode 2 shortly. Thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.